Hello and welcome back to One Storyteller, where we are continuing our escapades into reading the Fellowship of the Ring. Escapades? Is that a good
I think so.
description?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm Reagan.
I'm Andrew.
That's excellent. I knew that. You keep telling me your name at the beginning of all of these. I already
So
know.
do you.
I already
don't know.
Well,
What?
I'm telling it to the audience.
Well, me too.
Well, you're looking at me when you say it.
You're more interesting than a computer.
Oh,
It's not a high bar,
Wow.
but there you go.
that's a nice computer, though.
It is.
I like it.
Good job.
Except when it doesn't work sometimes, but that's a whole different issue. So we're reading Fellowship of the Ring. We're in chapters 6 and 7. What, would you rather have a rote intro where we say the same thing?
No, this
Every
you're right.
single
This
time.
is probably better.
This is so much more
I just
fun.
feel bad for
Yes.
some people listening.
You know, if someone's going to volunteer to listen to this, they know what they're signing up for.
Hopefully.
So, well, now they do.
Now they do.
Yes.
We're going to be
Yes,
talking
indeed.
about chapters 6 and 7.
We are.
Yeah.
Look at you take charge of that. Fellowship of the Ring, chapter 6, which is the Old Forest, and chapter 7, which is in the House of Tom Bombadil, which is in the Old Forest.
That's true.
They're different chapters. I don't think this needed a chapter break either. I with both of these, the last two, I can see why there is a chapter break. It also means they're just both half the length of the earlier chapters, and that makes them
Okay.
like you
This
just
is
pair this
sort of-
together.
Sort of tangential,
Yes,
but I like it when authors like, okay, I don't have to have all my chapters be the same.
that's true.
It's cool if you're like able to pace things right. I think generally that's what you should do.
Mhm.
But like if you have like a decent scene change,
Yeah.
I think cluing people in that like something different is happening through a chapter break, it's like a pretty helpful tool.
Oh, it's
Um,
absolutely fine.
Yeah. So I respect this.
I just
like
want to
this.
complain about
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
It makes me sad.
I did.
Okay.
Why? I mean, he could just have a subtitle in the chapter.
Yeah, but that's really weird.
Chapter 1, Part 2. He has Fellowship of the Ring, Part 1, Part 2. He can have the Old Forest, Part 1, Part 2.
No.
Part 1
No, you
outdoors,
don't
Part
know what
2
you're saying.
indoors.
We're in the forest indoors.
We are in the house in the forest instead of
Okay.
just in the forest.
What did you think about the beginning of this
Out
chapter?
in the forest. The beginning of this chapter is mild foreshadowing. So they set off, basically. These are the chapters that take them officially out of the Shire, out of the Hobbit areas.
Yes.
Right? Because last chapter they ended off in Buckland,
Mm-hmm.
which is not exactly Hobbit area, which is not exactly the Shire, but it is Hobbit area.
Yes.
And so they've officially crossed over the borders into the Old Forest, and they're at the point of no return, essentially. The path seems to, well, we'll get there, but they're lost in the forest.
Oh,
Lord of the
so
Rings
lost.
Online has a really good Old Forest, and I always get lost in it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's accurate.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's terrible. It's really hard to run through. It's so much easier to just run all the way around. It's so much longer, but like I can actually do it without
Oh my
thinking about it.
goodness.
So maybe I'm just bad at the game.
Yeah. It's a hard forest.
It is. It's very difficult. So Fredegar sees the group off into the Old Forest, and he says, "I hope you won't need rescuing later today," which ages very poorly in the
Beautiful
space of
foreshadowing.
10 pages.
Yes.
No. But Frodo, even though he's very wary of the forest, is more willing to go engage the forest than he is to go back with the riders.
Yes.
Kind of like with Maggot. He was very wary of Maggot, which is interesting to tie those two so thematically.
I
But
see,
he
I
would
see.
rather go confront Maggot and deal with all of that potential threat than the enemy that's behind him.
Yeah.
Better the devil you don't know than the one that you do, or something.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's very odd, but he
Well, I think Frodo kind of thinks he knows more about the forest than the riders.
yes,
Which
is true.
maybe, but
Well, it's
it's a very narrow margin.
It is true.
He doesn't know very much.
Well, it says that he's been in it. Mary did mention back when he was young.
Yeah.
So like it's been a long time, but he had been in it, and at least Mary had been
Mhm.
somewhat in it because Mary
That's
serves as
true.
a
That
guide
is
for
something.
the first bit.
Yeah.
And so there is more familiarity there than with the writer. So it is better the devil you know than the one that
Touché.
that
Okay.
guy who's behind you who you're not sure of.
Yeah.
Yes.
One quick thing
Yes. Ooh, quick.
is while we're talking Yes, quick. Well,
everything is relative.
While we're talking about the very beginning, is while they're about to pass through the hedge, and they say their final goodbyes to Fredegger.
Yeah.
There's this great line. It makes me emotional. It says, "Good luck today and every day," which Fredegger doesn't know, like how many days it's going to be until he sees them.
Yeah.
Frodo doesn't know everything he's going to go through. Mm-hmm. But I think this reflects, like, Fredegger is going to be thinking about them until he sees them again.
That's going to be a long time.
It is. But it's just like, good luck today, which they're going to need really badly. And they do get good luck.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be days further down the line where they get lucky. Mm-hmm. So it's just really neat. I don't know. It just makes me feel a certain kind of way.
So it's basically J.R.R. Tolkien writing in for this character where he can excuse throwing Deus Ex Machina whenever he wants to.
It's only because this guy
which is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
But, well,
hey, that's okay.
It is okay.
We'll talk about
I
that
like
some more,
how it's done, but I like most of how it's done. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. So it's sort of also one final thing here is like
one final thing. A quick thing and a final thing.
Yeah. Is
you're breaking all sorts of new ground.
Oh my goodness. Why did I agree to do this?
The more I talk, the longer the episode, the more content. Oh yes, it's for the algorithm.
Calling this content is very bold.
No, it is content. It might not be good.
Okay, yeah, there we go. I think Frodo even says to Fredegger, and maybe it was in the last chapter, but if there's nothing worse than the old forest, I'll be really happy. Yeah. Which shows that he doesn't grasp how bad the forest is, but also he's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there will be a lot worse than the old forest.
Oh, yes.
And a lot less help than he will find in the old forest.
Yes.
But it's nice. The old forest makes a very nice branching off point because it's familiar enough. Like they, as a group collectively, they know enough landmarks that they're kind of okay, and they are like near enough to home, right? But they are also far enough away to actually get in trouble, but they're near enough to actually find help. Yeah. They haven't gotten to the more corrupt and evil parts of the world yet, even though this is the first foray into it. Speaking of corrupt and evil, this is the first mention we have that the trees hunt people and at one point waged war on the Shire, and the hobbits just went in with axes and burned them.
We felt like we were on the threshold and the border in last chapter.
Yeah.
Now we really are.
Yes.
It's like, whoa, we're reading about hobbits fighting. Yeah. Never do. And like
that's a Brandy Buck thing. They're just different.
Yeah, and you also read about fighting. Or no, I just said that. About like trees moving around. It's like, okay, this is really different. And maybe Sam's cousin doesn't sound so crazy now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's sort of ambiguous. It seems like the trees had some hostile intent that the hobbits kind of backed up against.
Perhaps.
But that story is also the origin for the unfriendliness of the trees. Is that after the hobbits killed a bunch of trees, now the trees are really angry whenever hobbits are in here.
Understandable.
So there's like some, I don't know exactly what these trees are like. Like there's definitely some rotten ones, like we will see.
Yeah.
But hey, if a bunch of hobbits like cut down your cousin, like you probably won't be very happy either.
Yeah. So, I mean, wars make things complicated. And so I don't know who was the aggressor in the can we call them Ints yet? Is that reserved for
these are not Ints.
These are not Ints.
No.
Okay.
These are just trees.
Well, never mind. So trees.
Yeah.
Special trees. Do they have a special name?
I guess later we'll find a term for them. But
these are the
what we'll find out later. No, good grief. But we'll find out later, like in chapter 7. Like Tolkien's world is more alive than our world.
Yes. Well, yes.
It's like more fantastically obvious that it's alive. Yeah. Like and that's seen in the trees. Like and these trees. later stuff we'll see, like,
I mean,
trees. All the trees have the potential to be like this.
Yeah.
But these trees are awake or more
They've
awake.
realized their final form.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Yeah, so something like that. Yeah.
I bet Tolkien stole the terminology from Goku.
Oh my goodness.
Back in the day.
So they go into the forest.
Tolkien never experienced Dragon Ball Z. That's a wild. Yeah. It's a wild thing to think about. So yes, they get into the forest. You've never watched Dragon Ball Z?
No.
It's incredibly good if certain parameters are met, such as
skipping a quarter of it.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's great.
Okay.
It's a good time. So trees move. Trees talk at least to each other.
Yeah, they feel like this foreboding whispering all around them, like pretty early on.
Yeah, the trees block off the paths in front
isn't that creepy?
Or behind. It is very creepy.
Like they can't even tell it's really happening, but like they're being hemmed in already.
Yeah, the trees are cognizant.
Yes.
So I do have it written. The forest is alive just like people are, kind of. I mean, if they're not able to like walk around fully or whatever, then technical limitations on that, but it's a lot more alive than they're giving it credit for being.
Yeah.
Nature in Tolkien's work seems to be a lot more aware,
yes,
and present than we usually think of it as in, well, at least on our world, or at least as we understand our world. Trees don't do what they do in the old forest.
Yeah.
But here they do. It's just kind of a reminder. They take offense at the Hobbit songs because
yes,
is it who sings something about
Frodo? Eventually sings
Frodo.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is it's kind of a Pippin characterization in contrast to Merry.
Yeah,
is Pippin can't take just the pressure.
Yeah,
in the forest.
Yeah,
and so he yells. He just says "Oi" or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but he's freaked out. He can't take the quiet. And then for a second, things are like, "Oh yeah." But then the trees settle in even closer. It's even darker and more foreboding.
Yeah.
And Mary says, let's not do that. It's bothering the trees, man.
Yeah.
Eventually, Frodo does his own version, which is happy song, It's probably less aggressive than like shouting, except he says,
it's passive aggressive.
Forests will fail eventually. And the trees don't like that. And Mary's like, maybe we'll give them a rousing chorus when we're outside the forest. But let's not bother them right now. So
it has been interesting in reading even just the first few chapters to see where the movies took their inspiration from a bunch of different things. Have you've seen the So Uncivilized video on Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Right.
Another great YouTube channel.
Great YouTube channel. And how he basically brings up how the movies have taken a lot of Tolkien's words and remixed them and given them to different people at different times, but they are still using Tolkien's old language, right? Because this whole like the trees are reacting to you is what they do in Fangorn, over in the Two Towers,
and
which is it also in Fangorn in the books?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's part of it too.
Yeah.
It's more overt here.
Yeah. But the whole like Gimli, you should lower your axe thing. Is very. It feels very similar to this.
It is,
and there have been a couple other things before this. Yeah. I don't remember what
I'll have
they
more
were.
to say about that when we get to the Two Towers. Yeah.
About that specific thing or about adaptation.
That specific
in
thing, not adaptation, but like the forest similarities.
At some point, we should figure out when to talk about adaptation. Is that this episode with the Tom Bombadil stuff, or like will we touch on that?
I think we should.
Okay.
I think we should talk about it in this episode.
Cool.
So we can try to be. We'll try to give everything its proper credit and space, but I think we should try to make time for that this episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
I even have another. It should be a short tangent, but I have another tangent here too.
Oh, short tangents.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wouldn't know what those are.
Yeah.
So they're going into the old forest. This is the moment where they look ahead, and Mary says, "We don't want to go down into the Withywindle Valley."
Yeah, the Withywindle.
Because that's where all the weird stuff is.
Yes.
Like that's the origin point of weird stuff in
There's
Middle Earth.
Weird trees everywhere, but they're all weird because of what's down there.
Apparently,
so don't go there.
Yes. He also points out the Barrow Downs.
Yes, and because they can see it from the hill.
Yes. Yeah. There's this inclination or indication. I don't know why I
Yeah,
think those are the same words sometimes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They have this inclination that the Barrow Downs should be avoided.
Sure.
Yes, and there's an indication that the Barrow Downs are bad. I could have used either of them.
Good job.
Barrow Downs have a bad reputation.
Even in the Shire.
Yes, and so like that's not a positive thing, but also at least it's not in the forest. And so it's almost like both of those are bad, and the point is for them to avoid both.
Yeah.
Right? The point is they don't want to go out in the Barrow Downs. But at least the Barrow Downs would not be down in the valley where all the weird stuff is. Mm-hmm. And so I don't really know if they had to pick between the two, which one they would go for, but they're trying to go for neither of them, and they'll end up hitting both of them.
That's basically right.
Yeah. So both of them will be pretty bad. Mm-hmm. Unfortunate. But as much as they will try to avoid trouble on this journey, it is a journey full of trouble, and it will follow them anyway.
Yeah. I don't think you can interrupt me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's too much to say about this beginning section. But Tolkien really does a good job of painting this inevitable and oppressive atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's like they try to fight. It's hard to get out of these ditches, but becomes very apparent they're up against a power greater than any of them.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. That's kind of like the main takeaway, I think, for this chapter is our heroes are not prepared to adventure by themselves. Yeah. They're outmatched completely.
Yeah.
And it's even set up differently. Like the first time they went out from, the journey from Hobbiton to Buckland, they're also outmatched.
Yeah.
But they have better luck. But they still have help come out of the woodwork to help them,
woodwork.
But they're outmatched even that first journey.
Yeah.
But here it's okay, Merry was really prepared. Merry knows this. Okay, he can't help them either.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hobbits who know the way, who go through a forest, who don't really even get lost. And then they meet a whole troop of elves that helps save them, right? And in a forest that is non-hostile.
Yeah.
Now the forest is hostile. Yes. Now there are more hobbits, but now there's not a whole troop of elves. Mm-hmm. They will get saved, but it's only by one guy. Mm-hmm. And the forest is hostile. The next step, the wilds are going to be even more hostile after, in Bree and after Bree. Even more hostile, even more people with them. But ultimately, there's even less help. No one comes to help, ultimately. And so it's this progression is walking
exactly
forward.
What's going on.
Tolkien knows what he's doing in terms of escalation of
and
the story.
Particularly, this whole, Hobbiton to Bree section.
Yeah.
Just shows they're not ready yet.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And it highlights, different good aspects of them and some negative things. Yeah. But this is all very interesting.
And it's okay that they're not ready.
Yeah.
They're never... Sitting in Hobbiton is not going to make them ready. The only thing that's going to make them ready for the road is going out and being on the road. But that means they have to deal with some other stuff.
Yeah.
That was a good point, I see.
No, there's this line later I just remembered. I can't bring it up right now, but...
You can.
It won't make sense right now.
Okay.
I'll do it later.
Fine. If you remember... right.
I will
in these
remember.
chapters?
No.
Okay.
Chapters
far later on.
Yeah. But it fits into what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. So they're on this path. It's not a great path. It's a path that leads them towards the valley. So they try and leave the path, which does not go well for them, and they get rerouted to the valley.
Yeah.
I think I asked a question on how does Tolkien feel about fate earlier on, and I still don't really know, but it feels like this is they're trying to change their fate, but they're not able to.
I think that probably is kind of misleading.
Yeah.
It's not really a question of fate, but of power.
Yeah.
They can't compete with the heart of the forest.
That could be a better way to phrase it or look at it. Yeah. They're going to the place that is not the valley. Or they're trying to. They're trying to go to the place that is drier, it is more open, it has thinner trees.
Yes.
And over and over, those are all the problems that they're having. And so they see solutions off the path. They just can't get off the path. And what they chase ends up being a mirage in a forest, which is bizarre. But it's taken away from them because the forest wants to bring them deeper, which is kind of a threat and probably not great.
They eventually get up to somewhere that is kind of open up, this like marshy area, but that's a small comfort, not really a comfort at all. This is where we see they're overwhelmed by the spell of the forest, and they come to the spell weaver himself. I can jump into this unless you have something.
This is the moment because they get down to the actual river that's going through the valley, and it points out somebody's made a footpath next to the river, which is very odd. And it's like, okay, is that good? Is that like somebody lives here?
Yeah, when he first brings it up, it's like, what? Who?
That's very odd. You also have the mention that the path is like segmented off by pieces of dead trees. So there are tree trunks lying around and brushwood that's lying around. And it's almost like somebody has lined this with dead wood to make sure the trees don't disturb it. Because that's the only reason that I would imagine
I hadn't thought about that.
There's a footpath that's constant through there, it seems like. Unless it's a mention because Tom has like literally just come through or something like that. But it seems like
I took it.
Yeah, it seems like that would be something that persists because it will talk about how Tom is like nothing gets in his way, and the trees are all kind of scared of him. And so I wonder if there are two ways. There's a bunch of wood around this path.
Yeah,
that's very odd.
I'll come back to that. I think there's like two main ways there. Yeah.
But yes, that takes us up to the river and the sleepiness. Yeah. So go ahead.
And we see they're overwhelmed by the spell.
Yes.
And it's like sort of like, it's not like super horrifying, but it's uncomfy. Like it's scary. Like imagine like your senses being dulled. Because like.
Big sleep.
Yeah.
You call it.
Yes. Just being overwhelmed and like less aware to defend yourself. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like Pippin and Merry are completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Well, Frodo resists at first. Merry and Pippin like immediately fall asleep against the tree. And Sam, Frodo sees him blinking stupidly in the sunlight. And Frodo has a bit more wherewithal about him. But then that sort of flips on its head, which I think is interesting. Is Frodo, who was initially resistant, is overwhelmed as well. And he goes over by the river, which almost kills him.
It does.
And that's about the time Sam shakes the spell off. And he's not affected by it anymore from that moment. It's very interesting. It's like and he's the one who saves Frodo.
Yeah. The hobbits get tempted by sleep, right? Merry and Pippin just totally give in because they willingly walk over to the willow tree that's calling to them and then go to sleep. So both of them. Merry is somewhat more capable and aware than Pippin is, but not enough.
Not enough,
apparently.
And so, like it's right in line for Pippin to fall asleep.
It is right in line there. But also, like I would have thought better of Merry.
Yes, yeah.
But there he goes. Rip that guy. I hope he's okay. Then you have Frodo, who's the one who's tempted but tries to resist, and so he goes in the water to try and, stave it off. It ends up being a vain attempt, and he almost drowns because the tree tries to push him in the water. Apparently,
yeah, that's spooky.
And it's Frodo who he gives in partially, right? It's Sam who ultimately says, "I've got better things to do." He starts looking for the ponies.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, there are two over here. Where are the other ones? I should go find those." And that's what keeps him away from the spell. And then he sees Frodo and he saves him. And then he sees Merry and Pippin, or rather doesn't see Merry and Pippin, and so wants to try and save them. So you have the people who succumb to temptation totally swallowed by it. The people who don't get far enough away are kind of susceptible to it. That's Frodo. And then you have Sam, the person who is pushing that off in service of doing some other good.
Yeah.
That's what saves him from it.
Interesting.
So that becomes a very spiritual application. Yeah. It's cool allegory, shall we say. Allegory is a great word that can be so misused. Yeah. So I like Sam.
Yeah, he's great.
He is a follower. Fantastic.
Follower, but fantastic.
He has a job.
Yeah.
And so he does his job.
I do think it is interesting as well that it looks like he was overwhelmed at first.
Yeah.
But like to your point, he doesn't go over to the tree. Yeah. So he's struggling, but he stays out of it.
Yeah. He's struggling, but he finds something better to do.
No, I agree completely.
Right.
Yeah.
He finds a job. He finds a purpose. He's supposed to do something. Falling asleep's going to help nobody. Let's go do some work.
Yeah. And this is where you see like they're not tempted beyond what they're able to bear.
Yeah.
Like it was within, this is like a terrible wizard tree or whatever. We could talk about that some more.
Wizardry.
But they can't fight this thing. They try to, they're outmatched, but they don't need to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like they're not forced to be. It's not their fate to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Merry and
They
Pippin
did not
chose
have to go and sleep in the roots of the tree.
Yes.
That was stupid.
It was stupid. So then Sam and Frodo try this rescue attempt. It's like, we could get an axe. Yeah, it's just a tree. That's worked before with the Bucklander story.
Yeah. All I have is a small hatchet. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
But we got fire.
Yeah. Which would have worked, I think. But they've got hostages.
Yeah.
And
right.
so
it would have worked in proportion to
killing.
Merry and Pippin are still
The tree definitely
inside
would
of
have
the
killed
tree
the
right now.
Killed them. Yeah.
So
they give up on that plan. Sam's baffled. He's still trying to think of something. And Frodo goes, "Help, help, help." Just in complete desperation running down the path.
Yeah. Just seeing where it goes.
And help comes.
It does come, which is very interesting. They didn't even say his rhyme. They don't even know his rhyme yet.
No.
But they'll learn his rhyme in good time. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it, except I did know it.
Oh, my
And so
goodness.
I made poetry. Poetry is interesting.
Wait, sorry. Poetry?
All right, we're moving on. Speaking of poetry, there are so many rhyming lines that are said in the next chapter and a half.
Yeah. That's how Bombadil communicates.
It is how Bombadil communicates. It's very odd because, I kind of read through it in like a sing-songy voice for what Tom Bombadil is singing. And then with what Tom Bombadil says, you can even read through that in a sing-songy way, and it carries like a very similar rhythm.
Yes.
Which is odd.
That was intentional.
That was absolutely intentional.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yes.
And
so
it serves like a really neat, you feel like a lot safer in a way, because like the forest is all oppressive and like even the prose of it. And then even the way the story is written, because of like how much Tom Bombadil dialogue there is, it just feels really different.
That's a cool idea. That's a cool idea.
It's interesting how well that works.
The anti-forest.
Sort of. Sure.
Yeah. Let's go with it. Tom. Jolly old Tom.
You want to talk about him here?
Tom Bombadil. I mean, he gets introduced here.
Yeah, so he pops out of nowhere. He
walks down the path, but
yeah,
probably.
Okay.
Yes.
He's a little taller than a hobbit.
He is.
He has,
and a little fatter than a hobbit. Like he's too tall and too big for a hobbit.
And clothing isn't really described a lot in Lord of the Rings.
No.
But he's got yellow boots, blue jacket, got a hat. He's just this very flamboyant fellow. Just trampling.
Jolly, one might even say.
And then there's this tree they can't do anything about. Bombadil easily just undoes Old Man Willow's machinations.
Yeah. He's definitely something different, right?
Yeah.
And that's backed up in the description of him, because it says he's too big for a hobbit.
He's too short to be a man.
He's too small for one of the big peoples.
Yeah.
It says he has a really large beard.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, so he's a dwarf. right? But it doesn't call him a dwarf. He's like this dwarf adjacent type, which is going to become very relevant for something in chapter 7.
Oh, interesting.
But I'll get that. I don't know what to make of it, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
So he comes in, saves the hobbits, no trouble. Hobbits can't do anything for themselves. He does everything for them, and then he invites them to dinner.
Yeah,
which is cool.
It is.
That's nice. He is Deus ex machina.
Yes.
God from the machine. Just like the writer can't think of anything else, and so the characters are saved by something that they could never have seen coming. But he serves an interesting purpose in the story, which is to kind of bridge the first outside of the Shire experience with the real outside of the Shire experience.
Yeah.
And so he's the stepping stone for these characters to realize they need so much more than they have, which is going to lead them to rely on a Strider in the next couple of chapters or whoever else they end up happening with along the way. There's a reason there becomes a fellowship and not just 4 hobbits doing stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think he helps to push them to that point, I think. So I'm not opposed to how he is here. It's just weird.
It is sort of
weird.
Jarring is probably a good word.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a negative sense at all, but like he's really different.
Yeah.
One thing I think is interesting is next chapter we read that Bombadil gets news from different places like Gildor and Maggot.
Yeah.
Which it's interesting that he's connected overtly to those people who were last minute helps, you know? Maybe in different ways, like
all roads lead to Bombadil.
Yeah, it's neat that we read Maggot's. He goes into the forest. Bombadil gets news from Farmer Maggot, which is crazy.
Yeah,
but in that way, sort of retroactively, has Maggot imitate Bombadil.
It does.
Because Bombadil saves them and invites them to dinner.
It does,
and then sends them on their way.
Yeah,
which is exactly what Farmer Maggot does.
Yeah. Well, Maggot invites them to dinner and then saves them by driving them, but
well, he like tried to shove the Nazgul off earlier, but
it's the same thing.
Very similar.
You can start to see retroactively when you see Tom Bombadil and then you find out that he's connected to Maggot, then you start to realize, oh, like everything Bombadil's just very different. He's different from every other being in the world, it seems, and Maggot is different from every other hobbit in the world, and so he is a small-scale replication of the oddness of Bombadil, which has vaguely religious and spiritual overtones.
I think more than vaguely.
Absolutely. But there's much more to say on who Bombadil is.
Yeah, and probably wait a little bit on that.
Yes, because we have to get into their house. The trip to the house. Do you have something on the trip to the house?
You do.
I do have something on. Do you have something on the trip to the house?
Not yet.
Oh. Following Tom pushes these hobbits to the very limit. Talks about how their legs are leaden. It talks about darkness coming from the sky and from the ground. It says there's a shadowy steam that comes off of the ground beneath them, which is very odd.
That's spooky.
That's terrifying. Their legs are leaden. They start seeing hostile faces in the trees. Like everything looks like it's going very badly. And then they round the corner, or they like crest the hill, and then there's just a normal house, and Tom invites them in, and it's like peace and quiet and prosperity. And it's like reading through that just reminded me of like Psalm 23, the valley of shadow of death. I fear no evil because,
you're leading me.
Yeah. And on the other side, there's a home, there is peace, even in the presence of mine enemies. My cup overflows.
Even in the middle of the forest.
Yes.
I like that.
It is very interesting. Tom starts to take on some really weird divine attributes, which I'm sure that we're going to see more of.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing. I agree with you, but I'm going to take it a different direction.
Okay.
Is we also see that Tom Bombadil is force of nature is probably like the best way to say it. Because you'd expect a guide to stick with you.
Yeah.
But we'll see in the later chapter, Tom is removed or beyond a lot of their concerns.
Yeah.
He does not behave like a person or mortal or even like an elf, He's like, I was going to go this way anyway. Keep up if you can. There's sort of he's kind of removed from them in a way.
Yeah.
He even says, "You're lucky I was passing by."
Yes.
You kind of get the impression that Old Man Willow has claimed some people before.
Yeah.
And Bombadil's like, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like force of nature in that way.
Okay.
He's happy to help them, but it's not his business exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. He has divine undertones.
Yeah, absolutely.
But is not a perfect representation of the full gods.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why he's living on Middle Earth instead of floating off with all the other divine beings.
Oh my goodness.
Or fully divine beings.
Yeah.
Or however that ends up working. There is one curious mention. There was Tom Bombadil's house before them, up, down, under hill, which is just a really weird way to say.
It's sort of whimsical.
It's somewhere there, but Frodo's name is Underhill, or the person that he's trying to be is Underhill. So, like, what does up, down, Underhill mean? In the context, it just... I don't know. I thought about that for a while because I couldn't make that really fit with anything except this is much more where Frodo is protected and safe and such.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than his other homes. It's almost like this is a little home away from home for him. And so I wonder if that was a nod towards that or
it may be
or what. I have no idea.
It could be. I feel strongly about like the whimsical vibe because that sounds.
It definitely
up,
is.
Down under hills is where I live.
Yeah, but it's not in a piece of dialogue. It's just in a piece of narration.
Yeah, well, even
which could be just what Tolkien is doing because he does that. So,
you ready to go into the
very
house?
Very interesting. Yes, in the house of Tom Bombadil. Yeah, otherwise known as Chapter 6, Part 2.
Chapter 7.
Chapter 6, Part 2. Inside the house, inside the old forest.
Oh my goodness.
In the house of Tom Bombadil.
Here's one thing you should notice.
Yes.
I'm not going to unpack this completely.
Did we say at the beginning we're in Fellowship of the Ring, Chapter 6 and 7? Did we say that?
Hey, we're in Fellowship of the Ring, Chapter 6 and 7.
I can't remember if we did. I feel like I did, but I also know.
We also went off the rails really quickly.
Yeah.
We can write a description.
We were in between recording last episode and this episode. I had to show Andrew some clips from Rings of Power.
You had to.
It threw me off.
It threw me off.
They're so funny. They're so bad.
All right, okay. Notice this. I'm not going to unpack this completely.
Chapter 7, okay.
But Goldberry, they meet her.
She there.
She shuts the door.
Yes.
She says, "Oh, you guys were afraid of the Force? Don't worry. You're safe here." Shuts the door. And she stretches out her arms and as if to ward off the night. Which is very specific, and you should remember that.
I should remember that for
a couple chapters from now.
Okay. So it'll come back.
Yeah. But as relevant to our discussion is they're safe here. Tom and Goldberry have this very cute and also noble dynamic between them. Yeah. And they're great hosts to these weary, silly hobbits.
Yeah, very odd.
Yeah,
very odd. I mean, reading through it, personally, I don't really vibe with Tom as a character. Yeah. He's an interesting personality that I don't really enjoy. Interesting to read about. I would hate to meet this guy. He would just get on my nerves. And so, Tom and Goldberry personally make me a little uncomfortable with how they talk and how they act. It's just weird. Maybe it's back to that whole the elves are different, and that's okay. Maybe it's the same for them.
Yeah, well, Frodo, definitely. I think it's Frodo, even makes the same comparison. They felt beyond them or something to that effect. Yeah. Elvish, but his thing is particularly about Goldberry.
Goldberry.
Feels sort of elvish, but nearer to the mortal heart.
Yeah.
There's a difference there, even though there's a similarity.
Yeah. So this comes back to the dwarf comparison from earlier. Yeah. Right, because Tom is basically a dwarf, but slightly off.
He's the not dwarf, and Goldberry's the not elf.
Yes.
Is that what you're thinking?
And there's a natural rivalry between elves and dwarves, in all fantastical properties, and I think also Lord of the Rings. Here. Yeah. But the dwarf who is slightly different and the elf who is slightly different are willing to
interesting.
They work together.
Yeah.
And it's flawless, and it's an actual good couple. It's the first couple we've seen in the book, I think.
You get Maggot and Mrs. Maggot,
which would be very much tied in if Maggot is heavily influenced by Bombadil. So
I should get married. Because Tom Bombadil.
I guess there's Lobelia and Lotho or whatever.
Yeah, well, you have all sorts of families in the first chapter. We don't really spend a lot of time with them.
Not focused on. These are great pictures of people working together and being very different, because Tom is just like doing stuff.
Yeah.
And Goldberry's also just there
doing stuff.
But very different, but they work together very well. And it's interesting that there is a dwarf elf comparison, and neither of them are exactly what those are. But
it is interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, this chapter
I don't know what to do with it.
It's pretty busy, but it's like hard to pin down anything. Like it's you don't have like a lot of like specific dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
You just have like, and like maybe it sort of reflects Tolkien. Like he's writing it because he wants to write it this way, but also you get the sense like the hobbits don't remember a lot of specifics here. Yeah. It's just like we're having a good time. Yeah. Because like we were singing, we don't remember when we started singing. It just felt more natural in this place. Mm-hmm. Which for Tolkien is like, that's a sign of like something really good is here. Like if you're able to sing and be happy. Yeah.
Which I'll bring that up in just a second. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That it fits along with the whole vibe of this section.
And they're like completely satisfied, contented, and safe.
Yeah. The fact that I'll go ahead and mention this now since I might not remember it later. The fact that there's a lot of information that gets summarized here, as far as also a lot of historical information and just like information about the world in general that gets very summarized here. I feel like Tolkien could have done that in chapter 2 and strayed away from all of the specific mentions of stuff that's really not going to come up all that much. Yeah. If he had generalized that a little bit more like he does here, I would have been able to read through that and grasp that a whole lot easier. So I do like how he chose to summarize things instead of dealing in great specifics in the conversation. Yeah. Personally.
I try not to like get on a soapbox or anything here. I think in chapter 2, having like specifics shows like the out of depth, and like Frodo provides a backdrop for Frodo feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, but me as a reader, I want to.
I know. But here it fits with.
It also fits
like
with their experience.
The broad strokes, like it matches the experience. Yeah. In both cases, even though like very different feelings of chapters, like super different.
But both very intentional.
Yes.
And I can appreciate the artistry in it, even if I don't personally.
And I'm a sucker for that.
Love all of it. Frodo is noted as an elf friend because he has bright eyes and a ringing voice.
Yes.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah. It's something Goldberry would notice.
Yeah.
So she does.
I guess.
It points to weird. A supernatural sense.
Yeah.
That she has.
I guess that makes sense.
They're different. They can just tell things.
Yeah. So that is curious. You also have this interaction while Goldberry's like setting the table and Tom's not in the house. He's seeing to their ponies before he sees to them. He forgets to tell them to like clean up and stuff. He goes and deals with their horses instead. So force of nature, right? But who is Tom Bombadil? Oh, he is.
Yes.
Is a very God way of saying things, right? Moses said, how do I explain you to the Israelites? How do I tell them who sent me? And God says, tell them that I am. And that'll
There's
work.
like that sort of connection there.
Yeah. And so that's another just, there are a bunch of different pictures, like little divine pictures that Tom Bombadil accompanies. From my understanding, he is some sort of God.
No one knows.
Okay.
No one knows.
Yeah.
He's
not a normal mortal being.
There are theories just about everything.
Okay.
I have my own, which we can get to, I guess, now or soon.
He's not a normal mortal being.
Yeah.
Is what I'm surmising from all of it.
That you're right. There's like lots of like divine similarity stuff there, but also Tolkien sort of he stands there for a second, like he is very close to I am.
Yeah.
But it's softened because Tom doesn't say that. He doesn't say, I'm who I am.
Yeah.
Goldberry says, well, he's who he is. So that's like a softer version of that.
Absolutely.
And then I think he softens it even further when she says, you've seen him. He just goes about here.
Yeah.
So it ends up sound like appropriately dramatic, but ends up being mundane pretty quickly too.
Much more normal.
Even though like mundane isn't a very good word for Tom.
Yeah. Quantifiable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he ends up being. Well, more so.
More
right?
so.
He is the master of wood and water and hill. Goldberry is associated with water a lot. So you come in and she's enthroned in a pool with water lilies is like the way the book says it. And so she's water, but he's like everything, everything associated with nature. He doesn't own the land, which is very odd. Or at least he says he doesn't own it. It's just that nothing messes with him because if it tries to, he can just shut it down whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
Which basically means he does own the land, just not in so many words. Right? He has absolute authority over it.
Yeah.
He just doesn't
you can see it
take
like
ownership directly
in his behavior toward the place that he maintains dominion. I'm making quotes with my fingers. Dominion.
He is. Can confirm.
But he tolerates Old Man Willow.
Yeah.
So he doesn't act like he owns things. He just goes about as a sort of master, which is how he's referred to.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the land is free to do what it wants to, but he will also edit it if it needs editing.
Yeah.
Old Man Willow does swallow 2 people, and he hasn't cut Old Man Willow down, but he does command that Old Man Willow bring those 2 back up. Yeah. And then he gets those 2 out.
And even in the previous chapter, Tom threatens to sing him to death. Yeah. Which I think he could have done.
I mean, he's about to sing me to death. There's so much just random poetry.
You're not built for these chapters.
Oh my. No, not really my thing.
It's very, very whimsical.
But yeah, even just the mention, Tom will refresh you.
Yeah. Is
very oddly put because Tom comes in and he lets them refresh themselves.
Yeah.
But it's really just he provides everything for them.
Yeah.
And so I think even that is just a little microcosm. He is absolutely playing the role of a way that you can understand God who exists in this world is to say that he has created and then he just lets it be. And he comes down and edits it as he sees fit in certain situations. May not be the best view of God. I don't know. I'm not settled on one particular view over another, just to say that is one way to view him. That seems to be the way that Tom interacts with the world, is he just lets it go. Yeah. And he also comes in and changes it when he wants to. Yeah. He'll refresh you guys. Well, he'll allow you to refresh yourselves or whatever it is. Yeah. It's his power. It's his authority. It's his resources. But he's letting you use it how you want to.
Yeah. I know we had a couple of tangents we wanted to talk about.
Absolutely.
But we want to finish through the chapter.
Also, singing is easier than talking.
Yes.
In heaven, a lot of times, heaven is described as people singing all the time, which is, singing is easier than talking. There's also a mention that water becomes wine. Essentially, they drink water, but it is as good to them as wine is. And that's a picture that's taken straight from John chapter 2.
Sure.
And so a bunch of just different divine pictures that is fascinating, and I don't know what to do with all of them, but there's information.
It's like this supernatural help and hospitality.
Yeah. There's a reason he ain't no mortal.
Yes.
Certainly. I don't know what he is, but he's not normal, and that's okay.
All the hobbits have dreams while they're in Tom's house.
Yes.
Except for Sam. Except for Sam.
Which is important.
Does Merry's and Pippin's, I don't think much needs to be said. They were scared. It matches their experience with Old Man Willow.
Yeah.
They wake up and find, okay, we're safe.
Yeah.
Which is sort of like Frodo's, but this is the second prophetic dream, I think. What did you make about his dream?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Frodo did try the night before to ask Bombadil what was going on with Old Man Willow, and he said, it's not, nighttime is not the time for that. Go to bed, and don't be worried about it. Frodo goes to bed. He dreams of darkness, wolves, and a man carried by an eagle are the 3 things that stood out to me.
Yeah.
None of which concern him.
No.
Right. Pippin and Merry both dream things that concern them, and they wake up and they take comfort in the house, that they're safe right now. But Frodo dreams about something that's far beyond him, and also he doesn't have the same kind of comfort that they're in the house. And so that's what I got from it. I don't really know what that's supposed to be about. His mind is not locked into the forest, which is good.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't really know what to do about it either.
Yeah.
It is like I think I know what it's about, but it is weird.
Yeah. Because this is about like the Gandalf.
Yeah, it's about Gandalf.
Thing.
He's seen Gandalf for some reason.
Yeah. It's odd that he's just called like a man.
Yeah, he can't tell that it's Gandalf right now.
I guess that's fair.
And that's true. He doesn't really have any context for what he's seen.
Yeah.
Later he will. And he'll say, I saw you. And then Tolkien doesn't really talk about it more than that.
Fair enough.
But it's interesting.
Fair enough. Okay.
It's just maybe like a hint at things going on. Because like I think it matches like timeline wise. Like this is when Gandalf escapes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not past or future. It's just like
that's when
this is happening. Interesting.
Yeah.
That
I feel pretty confident about that. Yeah.
That's
when Gandalf escapes is that night.
That makes sense. So, yeah, because that would also explain why Gandalf is not there.
Yes. He has been a prisoner.
Yeah, I guess retroactively that will make sense to Frodo. Oh, wait, that's what that was about.
Exactly.
That's why you weren't here.
Yeah.
So does that come up in Rivendell, I guess?
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. Cool. So Tom sends them all to bed. They go to bed.
They have a whole off day. Oh, yeah.
Sam does not sleep, or Sam does absolutely sleep. He does not dream. He is unperceptive, right? He sleeps well if logs could be said to be sleeping well, or whatever the line was. I don't know if maybe that's why Willow didn't get to him as much. He's not as
I don't know
in it. You could absolutely stretch that too far.
Yeah, I don't think it's a dig at him.
Maybe.
I think it's if you compare it to like Merry and Pippin, he wasn't as affected, so he's not afraid.
Yeah,
he trusts the house they're in. I think that's what it is.
And that's okay. Sam is a little bit simpler, and that's all right. And that there's a benefit to that.
Sure enough.
And he's able to sleep even when the other three are stressed out of their minds about various things. Okay, that's all I have through the dream section and the night before. They spend the next day chatting with Tom. Yes. Do you have anything before that, or do you just into this?
No.
That sounded very confident and sure. They talk to Tom again the next day. They spend basically all day listening to him.
Yes.
It's very odd that Tom knows their sleeping patterns. He knows that they were awake, and he says, "Don't worry about it." He also he's the one who woke Goldberry up in the morning. He also says he was out for a long time, just going places. And now he's back. And so it's an odd picture, but it is a man who does not sleep. He roams far and wide. He looks around. He makes sure everything's all right. And then he comes back. He keeps vigil so that nobody else has to, which is also like an all-seeing God kind of imagery.
Sure.
He has to walk outside to go see things, but he is present and there, and that's pretty cool. He doesn't have to be
under his protection.
Yeah. And he doesn't have to be in the house for them to be under his protection because it just remains.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a safe space for them. So that's kind of cool. What do you have about the conversation, the real conversation, the monologue that Tom gives them?
Well, there's like several tangents and things. I think the most important thing to Frodo is something toward the end, which it's another childish thing from Frodo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like really interesting. It's like Tom says, well, here's the instigation for it. Is Tom says, "Let me see the pretty ring." And he does. And it gets really big, much bigger than it has been for a hobbit. I think that probably is reflecting like Tom's power, which is a lot of power, but it has no power over Tom. He just messes around with it and gives it right back.
Yeah, he puts it on.
Yes.
It doesn't do anything.
Yes.
And he gives it back.
Yes. And that annoys Frodo, which is, this is like a really safe,
petty
chapter, but that betrays the ring's corruption of him, I think. It's like he feels sort of jealous, I think. Yeah. And a bid, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but he's inspired to slip the ring on, which he was told not to do. Like, he's probably in the safest place to do that. Yeah. He still shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And Tom says, I'm not that blind. I can see you. Yeah. Stop playing with the ring.
Yeah.
Well, you look better without it. Which is kind of a gentle reprimand.
That is an interesting way to phrase that. He puts the ring on and he starts heading towards the door.
Yes.
Is the other thing. Like, I don't know if he was actually about to leave, but it looks like he's about to leave.
It's really
and
weird
Tom
interaction.
Says, no. Yeah.
He said, come back, take it off.
Yeah. That is, we have much more to say. And then that is the moment at which Tom starts talking about them leaving.
Interesting.
Which is very interesting. I don't think that had come up in the conversation before.
No, that's the first time.
Because he was talking about the old forest. He was talking about roaming habits. He was talking about why the trees felt the way that they did, which betrays the trees' understanding of the conflict instead of just the hobbits. There are two sides to the story. We were just studying Proverbs last night, and we ran across the one that is one side seems right until you hear the second side.
Yeah.
And
that's at least a little bit of that here.
And so, he not excusing the tree's hatred at all, but it is understandable why they don't like the hobbits and why they kind of went after them. And so he's explaining like all these random things in bits and pieces, and again, very summary statements. And then he looks at the ring, puts it on, doesn't mess with him, gives it right back to Frodo. Him wearing it messed with Frodo.
Yes.
And so Frodo puts it on, goes towards the door. Tom says, no, come back here. You've got a journey to make. You're going to go on this journey. And so it's like as soon as Frodo engages the ring and puts on that evil thing in his presence, suddenly Tom starts talking about getting that out, which is another like sign of holiness, maybe.
Maybe.
It doesn't hold any power whatsoever.
At the very least, it shows you got to get a move on.
Yeah.
You can't stay here. Like, this place is great. It's wonderful. But the ring's still here. Doesn't have power over Tom, but we've clearly seen it has power over Frodo.
Yeah. And that's going to mess up the place. And nothing. It can't defile
There's a lot
Tom's
of parallels between Tom's house and Lothlorien, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, the way you phrased that made me think of something I think Galadriel or one of her attendants says, which is, or when someone's talking about Lothlorien, like, there's no evil here except what you bring in.
Yeah.
Which I think is definitely true about Tom's house.
Yeah. Tom is vibing.
Yeah.
And everything's going okay, and it's okay for the ring to be there as long as it is not. Right, until it's utilized.
Yeah.
And as soon as it's engaged, it's a no.
That's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
So if the ring is temptation, putting on the ring becomes sin, and at that point Tom kicks it out. He's not going to put up with that. He does still house them over the night, so like it's not a perfect parallel, but it's just curious to see his character. That order of things.
That's the sequence of things.
Yeah. Because I'm sure they've been talking on and off about a journey that they need to eventually take.
Yeah.
But that's the only time it actually gets mentioned. There was a heavy downpour outside that delayed their leave. They were going to leave that day, but there was a heavy downpour, and so they didn't leave. Tom walks out in it, comes back in, not rained on at all. Again, nature can't get in his way. He's just doing his own thing. And so he gives them their history lesson and ends up moving on. They do ask him where he came from, and he just kind of says, I just was.
I'm just here. So
that would be another like
Tom's the first.
I am statement, but pretty low key, toned down. Not a aggressive, just like, oh, that's just how it is.
So I think Tom Bombadil was a character in like some stories Tolkien wrote for his kids.
Curious.
And he roped him in to Lord of the Rings.
Okay. And Peter Jackson roped him right back out.
Well, so we'll talk about adaptation here soon, but that's like the real world explanation for Tom.
Okay.
But Tolkien thought, okay, he can fit in my world.
Mm-hmm.
He never says who Tom is, and he says, I don't know who Tom is. He's just here, and that's fine.
Interesting.
But people have theories, of course.
Well,
I think if you're trying to pin him down to something that makes sense in the science of Middle-earth, there's all sorts of spirits. Technically, some of them are called gods or whatever. Gods or angels would be like
some divine power, but without not
and,
like
and
the
even
upper
Goldberry
echelon.
Is like that as well. Like she's clearly this kind of river spirit, you know. like this downpour you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Tom says, this is Goldberry's washing day. Like he's getting these lilies and things for her, and it seems like something about like some like spring magic or something.
Yeah.
Because she's like sending out these autumn rains, you know? And it's a seasonal cycle. It says she won't do this again until like this time next year or something like that.
Interesting.
So she's a little easier to pin down perhaps, though tons of mysteries with her.
Well, she's representative of water, and he is water and wind.
Yeah.
And
he's more the land,
whatever.
if you're going to like cut it somewhere.
Well, he's the land and the water. Water is included in it. He's just big spirit.
In practice, but he's
big nature.
So Tom is like some kind of really powerful spirit. And he's talked to people in Rivendell. We'll talk about him a little bit more.
Interesting.
As toward his relevance in the fight against Sauron.
Okay.
Which turns out he's not relevant.
No.
But it's interesting. We'll see that later.
Yeah.
But they are forces of nature. Like he's married to a river spirit. So he's close enough to that, you know? But
I can buy it.
I think a couple other things. I'm not going to like follow up on these a lot. But Tom talks about the trees, and Frodo asks about who's Old Man Willow. He's like, he's an angry tree, bro. And the Silmarillion and stuff, the elves have legends about like the creation of the world, which is like the first life is trees and then animals.
Okay.
But it's first trees, and so it's just starlight and trees for a very long time. And like Tom is like alluding to that age of the world, which who knows how long it was.
Yeah.
But in Tolkien's universe, there was an age where it's just stars and trees.
Yeah.
I think Old Man Willow misses those days. Because he says there's some trees whose hearts have been darkened with hatred for all things that go about on two legs. You know, because they chop down trees and stuff, which fair if you're a tree.
Understandable.
So there's a
reason it's called the Old Forest.
Yeah. So, and I think Tom even mentions like this is like a remnant of a really ancient forest.
Yeah.
And Old Man Willow is one of the very most ancient trees.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's like there's a lot of like whimsical stuff, and they're just on this journey across the forest, and then things older than like Sauron being in the world are talked about. Like Old Man Willow's been here longer than Sauron has.
Yeah. I was there when the Dark One came in.
Yeah.
He's like, oh
yeah, and Tom even talks about the Dark Lord.
Yeah,
and he's not talking about Sauron.
Oh,
he's talking about Sauron's master, Morgoth.
Yeah,
even though he doesn't name him. So it's like they're like towing really ancient history.
Yeah,
like, and they're in the house of really ancient history. Tom, it's interesting. Like Tolkien likes setting stuff or using this backdrop of all his legends. Yeah, but I think for the most part, maybe he gets a little carried away sometimes. He makes it relevant, which is cool.
Yeah, it is more. It is much more plugged into the actual like narrative of what is happening at this moment than some of the other stuff, and I appreciate that.
Do you want to talk about adaptation now, or you have anything else?
I've gone through. Tom ends up, he's going to push them on. They need to continue their journey, right? This is not their home either. Yeah. It's a nice place to stay, but it's not their home. It's somebody else's home, and so they need to go on. So they'll continue the journey in Chapter 8 and kind of get reset, because they don't continue it super well, but we'll talk about that later on. So go ahead and let's talk about adaptation for just a
So I think a couple of things would be, I have a lot of gripes with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. I do.
Bruh.
I know.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
It is pretty good. That's what I'm saying.
Got some problems. It's got some problems. It's got some major problems.
You just can't appreciate.
But cutting out Tom Bombadil is not one of the problems. Like,
okay,
he's great. I'm glad he is in the book. He needs to be in the book, I think. But he does not need to be in the movie. It just does not work for cinematic pacing.
Yeah, he ends up having a good purpose in the book. I don't know that he has to be, but
sure.
Solid reason.
Tom might not have to be,
Yeah.
But something like
I
Tom,
understand why the
like
Old
Tom
Forest section is in there, and I think it works.
I was talking to like some friends and acquaintances a couple months ago, and they were saying stuff like, "I don't know why this is in the book. It seems so out of left field. It's crazy." And you're right. Like you were talking about how it's sort of like uncomfortable, jarring, or weird that you have Tom. Like he's so different than anything we've seen before.
A little bit, yeah.
But
a lot of bit.
At least, I'll start big picture. Like narratively, this is super important.
Okay.
I think you can afford to brush over it with the movie. It does kind of hurt the Hobbit's story, but you can't have everything, especially in a book this dense.
Yeah.
But it's really important in the book because of what we've been talking about. Is like, this is like the main section where we see the hobbits making mistakes.
Yeah.
Like it's really setting the foundation and the stage for their growth. Is when they're trying to do things themselves and need help.
Yeah.
And is also foreshadowing a lot of like later help they will get as well, like Lothlorien in particular, I think.
Okay. I will keep an eye out for that in particular.
But I think it's a really important section of the book, but it wouldn't really fit in a movie, I don't think.
No, not at all. Especially with the one moment that especially kills it for me is him putting on the ring and nothing happening. Right, because
that's a good point.
A lot of the point of the book is it's the fellowship of the ring. The ring is a problem. The ring is destructive. The ring is horrible. And then like the first place you go to outside of the Shire, the ring has zero effect on the guy who's there.
Yeah.
That is very odd. Even from a book point of view, I feel like
that's a good point.
That's odd. I can see the value of having that, and then even with how great Tom is, he still rejects the ring, right? He could hold it with no problems, at least for a moment, but no, like it doesn't belong here. You need to get rid of it. And so that point is made, but still, it's a very odd visual to have your big bad thing.
And like the first time you're out of the Shire,
yes,
it doesn't have any power.
The first temptation,
it does sort of
doesn't work.
I think that is a gripe I've seen, a complaint I've seen.
Yeah,
is like it kind of cuts tension for the ring.
Yeah,
and like
I don't feel like it does for the book.
Yeah,
I feel like it definitely would in the movie.
Yeah, because you don't have time to spend the necessary time to couch that appropriately.
Yeah,
I think it's
just a difference in the visual medium, right?
Yeah,
if I see something, it's very different than if I read something and I read the explanation behind it.
I think that's part of it.
And so, I don't think it would work very well in a movie setting. Also, he's a weird guy.
Yeah, he is. I love him.
Yeah. Well, they gave his lines to Treebeard later on.
They do.
In the extended version of The Two Towers.
You should be sleeping.
Which, that was a dumb scene.
Drink
I don't
water,
like that scene.
eat earth. Yeah.
Yeah. Go to sleep, trees. So basically, the moral of this story is, if you have an old tree in your yard, it probably wants to kill you.
Sometimes.
It might.
Okay. Do you have anything else about adaptation stuff? That didn't take as long as I thought it might have.
No.
I feel like
not in
that might be appropriate.
From this one instance of a significant character section that gets cut, I do think there was a good reason for that. So I don't mind it. It would be interesting to call up a few different instances like this that come up.
I think we ought to. This is definitely one to call up.
Yeah.
But
and it's okay.
Yeah. They're great. I think they're really valuable for the story. I think maybe it would have been good to see something where the hobbits are more independent in the movie, but as I need to think about that more. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, in the movies, there's also a much bigger, more intense buildup because the ring wraiths are a lot closer in the movie than they are in the book. Yeah. They are in the book. They are down the road, or they are back on the road when our people are far off the road, or they manage to cross the entire ferry and then they get on the other side and then they look back and there's one black shadow thing on the ground, and it's like, oh, that's probably a ring wraith, right? Ring wraith is my preferred term for the Nazgul.
Okay.
I just vibe with it
that's
more.
Fine.
Yeah, I thought so. I liked it.
Sorry.
Whereas in the movie, I mean, the first thing is they have to get off the road because there is a Nazgul within
get off the road
a foot of them, yes. Right? And so even going onto the ferry, they jump on, and it's within like 2 feet of them. Which, by the way, the way the movie does it is very cool. At first you see 1, then you see 2, then you see 3. By the time they go into Bree, you see 4. On Weathertop, you see 5. And then the various shots throughout on the horse chase after gets up to all 9, and then they get washed away. But
this doesn't matter much.
It's very
like
cool.
nitpicking the movie this much is silly.
Yes,
but it is kind of silly that Frodo is outrunning a horse there at the ferry.
It is. It is. But
I guess he barely does it.
Yeah, well, he was also reining in the horse because he doesn't want to overshoot and be in the water. Because the Nazguls are afraid of water.
What if he jumped on the ferry, though?
Rip.
That would be really funny.
Lord of the Rings gets really short if the Ringwraith jumps on the ferry with the 4. So there's just a different kind of tension and a different kind of responsibility.
Yeah.
Because the hobbits have freer reign much earlier in the movie, and they make a lot more mistakes in getting close to the Ringwraiths than they do in the book. In the book, they're much more intelligent about that. They're much more foolish about the Old Forest, or they're just caught unawares with it.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's just a difference. I don't know. They built up a tension. It's not the same. Yeah. But I understand.
I direct my energies to complain about other things for the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Old Forest, Tom Bombadil. I guess we'll see him again in the next couple of chapters. But
next chapter. Yeah.
Yep.
Fog on the Barrow Downs.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh.
Unless I'm crazy.
Yeah. No, it is.
Okay. I'm cracked, guys.
Cool. Then we'll go ahead. Next time we'll read the next chapter. Although
we won't always be able to do 2, but
we won't always.
Maybe next time?
We will sometimes. We might. We might. Because it's about 35 pages to read the next 2 chapters.
Okay. That seems about right then.
Although that does get us into the Prancing Pony, but not into the Strider section yet. Mm-hmm. But I think that makes sense.
I think that
makes sense. So we'll probably do chapter 8 and 9. Definitely 8, maybe 9 as well.
Yeah. We shall see.
Read those, and then we'll talk through those eventually. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, anything else to say? Have we gone long enough?
Yes, we have.
Hey, it's
not too bad.
Might not even be our longest one yet.
It's not yet. It's good. It's about to be.
It's about to be. Well, we better cut this off then. Well, thank you for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed that, found some benefit in thinking through that, and we'll see you later. The next time there's an upload. I'm working out a schedule right now.
Yeah.
But we'll see you for chapters 8 and 9.